Hi friends, it's Laura here. I am coming to you from my son's golf tournament. So trying to squeeze in this part 3 of making money work for you, and I hope you've enjoyed part 1 and part 2. I'm just kind of dividing these up into small, like super easy action plans so that you can knock out each part before we move on and dive deeper. So we've covered a little bit. I'm not going to recap. You've got the videos that you can go back and watch. But today I want to cover 4 new concepts and just touch on each one of these things briefly. Guys, I'm not your CPA. I am not certified to give any kind of financial advice. All I can do is tell you what's worked for me and what I see working for tons of Scentsy consultants all over the world. I've been at this for 15 and a half years, and gosh, I have some really cool tips that I have seen pay off in the end, but I also have learned what not to do. And so I want to share that with you and keep you on a good foundation as you build financial success moving forward. So hotel. I early on realized that, man, a lot of the events that Scentsy puts on is either hosted at or very near a Marriott of some sort. Either, it's just, it was crazy. Scentsy family reunions were, the host hotel was a Marriott. It was over and over again. Now that was 15 years ago, but still to this day, I have found that every single time there's an event, I can book myself at a Marriott and be either on site or right near whatever we're doing. So I signed up for a Marriott, not credit card. I just got the reward so that every single time I was there for business, I was able to accrue, I think that's the right word to say, rewards, so that I was able to maybe even use those rewards, cash those in on a free night or two for me and my family. And so I was so glad that I took this little idea and ran with it, because in 15 years, you can imagine how many Scentsy events I've been to and how many times that this has paid off. And so that is an idea. If you don't want to choose Marriott, no worries. You do you. Just, brainstorm, kind of think about where you've been staying in the last few years at these events and run with it. Mile IQ is the next little tidbit I want to share with you. Guys, mileage is one of your best opportunities for deductions. So if you're not maximizing, keeping good records of your mileage, you are missing out big time. Any CPA will tell you this. Anybody that does taxes, I don't care what your business looks like. I don't care if you got your starter kit yesterday. Get Mile IQ or some kind of mileage tracking app. Mile IQ is the one I went with because at the time, and it still may be, highly recommended by the IRS. So what better thing to go with than what they are recommended? So Mile IQ is good because you can keep track of personal, charity, medical miles, as well as business miles as well. Guys, if you're keeping track of your mileage, you got to have that starting mileage, and that is where a lot of people get lazy. They'll keep track of the trip and what it was for, but they won't have their starting mileage for that trip. You got to have that. Mile IQ does that for you. Yes, Mile IQ does cost me each year, but that's a tax write-off as well. And it's effortless for me. It logs every single mile, every single trip, no matter if it's medical miles, which right now that's a tax deduction too. Charitable miles, tax deduction, like on and on. Okay. Receipts for the purchases that you make in person. Receipts. Somebody gave me some really good advice one day early on in my Scentsy journey, is to have an email address solely for emailing, like taking a picture of your receipt and emailing it over to that specific email address that's receipts only, so that at the end of the year, you can just literally go through there and keep track of them. Yes, there are apps to do this too. But this is just a free way to do it, and it works. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm just saying it does work. So that is that. The last thing I want to touch on is, in your workstation, creating a customer named business supplies. First name business, last name supplies. Also, I have another customer in there called incentives. I have one in there called incentives. And so anytime I am buying something that I'm going to, samples and incentives. I knew there was another word. My brain is so golf right now, I can't even think straight. So samples and incentives. And so business supplies is going to be like bags and catalogs and testers and felt samples and all those kind of things, where samples and incentives are going to be the bars that I'm actually going to chop up to make samples out of. Or maybe I'm doing a special giveaway to my customers where, I'm doing this privately, not blasting it through, not blasting it on social media, but say I've got a little deal going that if anybody buys from this fundraiser, I'm going to give them a free scent circle. If I've communicated that, then when I place the order for those scent circles, I'm going to place the order under that samples and incentives. That way, at the end of the year, I can print off those samples and incentives orders and go into, at the end of the year, go into your order history, type in customer named samples and incentives, print off those order forms, and I know that those are my tax deductions because those are the things that I bought to make my business go well by giving free things away, whatever. Same thing with the business supplies. Like if I need a tablecloth or if I need catalogs or whatever, I'm going to place those orders under my customer named business supplies so that at the end of the year, all I have to do is print those order invoices out, and I have an itemized deduction of exactly what it was for. Does this make sense? I hope it does. You guys are awesome. I know that I ran through these 4 ideas really quickly, but you got this. Let me know what these ideas are doing for you in your business and in your confidence. I want to make you feel so good about yourself and feel so strong on how you're setting your financial future up, because it depends on how organized you are with your finances and how smart you are and how you can make a dollar go further by knowing where it's going to go and how you're going to use it before you ever get it. All right. Bye, you guys.